Hot off the presses is a brand new Overwatch comic which brought with it a huge amount of lore and possibly the setup for an in-game event starting next week. Let's break down every detail in the comic and see what we can learn. The book takes place during an Omnic Uprising 7 years ago and is the furthest back we have officially seen in the Overwatch universe. Ana still has both eyes, and as we see in the first panel, McCree still has both arms. He tells us that a group known as Null Sector is holding prisoners captive at a power plant, including the mayor and Mondata. Mondata, as you might remember, was the Omnic monk in the Alive cinematic, and although things end badly for him in that video, he will at least survive this particular story. Next up, we learn a little bit about this state of Overwatch. They've been barred from operating in the United Kingdom and things haven't been going their way for a while. Overwatch was disbanded not that long after when this comic is set, so what we are seeing here is the beginning of the end. We also learned that Blackwatch has already been disbanded. They were the covert ops side of the organization led by Gabriel Reyes, and it's almost certain that the criminal activities that turned the world against Overwatch were actually committed by Reyes and his agents. However, from Reyes' attitude and McCree's presence in the field, it looks like he still is operating without approval. Reyes explains that Null Sector is a group of terrorist Omnics who have strong support in the UK due to the mistreatment of Omnics in the country. The leaders get a call from the Prime Minister reiterating their ban from the UK, and for Reyes, this is enough to call it a day. At this moment, Morrison gets another call, this time from director Petrus, and although they don't speak, this is the first big lore reveal of the book. This isn't the first time we've heard the name Petrus. The act that disbanded Overwatch and blocks them from reforming is titled the Petrus Act.
The Petrus Act clearly states any Overwatch activity is deemed illegal and punishable by prosecution.
I know.
And from what we see later in the book, it looks like this director Petrus was appointed to take over control of Overwatch. It's likely he was behind trying to shut down Blackwatch. In some of the later panels, we see the words "new civilian leader for Overwatch" appear on a newsfeed, and this is likely referring to director Petrus, who I would guess was appointed by the UN in hope of fixing the problem within the organization. Continuing with the story, we see Tracer and Genji both in the training facility, and this gives us lots of interesting new information. First of all, Genji is a little bit more man than we might have expected, his left arm and chest still being mainly flesh. So this raises the question, does he now just wear armor over that side of his body, or did he just decide to go all in and have it turned into machine? Secondly, it's been long theorized that the slash and blood on the tapestry in Hanamura was from the confrontation between Genji and Hanzo that caused Genji to become grievously wounded. Looking at the direction of the slash and this new image of Genji, it would seem he would have been facing away from Hanzo when his brother struck him in the back. That's brutal. I mean, where's the honor in that? Lastly, and most importantly, Genji's outfit bears the Blackwatch logo. Previously, we simply knew he was inducted into Overwatch to help bring down his family after Hanzo nearly killed him. Now we know he was a part of Blackwatch, specifically meaning he would probably have been used directly as an assassin. This is backed up on the next page when we see a news banner that says, "Blackwatch under scrutiny after a complaint from Japanese government," likely a reference to whatever Blackwatch had Genji doing out there. We also see a report about an Overwatch official being murdered, and this possibly could be Gerard Lacroix, who was murdered by his brainwashed wife, who today we know as Widowmaker. Another report mentions a Cairo incident, something that was also alluded to earlier in the book. Now, what exactly this could be is unknown, but the Temple of Anubis is located near Cairo, and the second Ana comic, Old Soldiers, takes place in the same area, although that was set much closer to the present day. In front of all these news broadcasts, Commander Morrison is talking to a young Tracer who essentially convinces him to send a team to England, and in the final panels, we see what is likely set up for the new event starting next week, and it looks like we could be getting something similar to the PvE event at Halloween, which had 4 players fighting AI-controlled enemies. Now in this case, the characters would be Torbjorn, Reinhardt, Mercy and Tracer. Also, I'm sure these will all be skins to go along with the event. And the final lore reveal is where Tracer gets a catchphrase from.
Cheers, love!
The cavalry's here!
And the comic wraps up with them heading off to London, which is where we as players will hopefully take over. So what do you think about these latest lore reveals? Will we learn about this director Petrus? What do you think about the event starting next week will entail? Are you excited as me for this becoming a new Genji skin? Let me know in the comments below. We will no doubt be bringing you all the latest lore info and our own theories as things progress, as well as guides to help with the new event. As always, this is Dash for Kurt saying thanks for watching. Enjoy the game.